Happy Sunday, guys. I hope everyone had a great weekend and continues to enjoy their Sunday. This is the Social Security Roundup, as usual, on Sunday. So this is for the week of, well, it's going to start Monday, technically. There was nothing on last Sunday except the last Sunday Roundup. There was no extras out there. So April 22nd through, what would that be then? The 27th through the 27th? Okay, so here's what we got. In case you missed, on Monday the 22nd, all right, we were going over something that happened with a person who had a cog in the wheel with SSA, was supposed to be getting money, they thought, and just wasn't seeing anything, and they couldn't get anybody who knew what was going on at the field office. There's a lot of ins and outs to it. A disabled person who then was not disabled and did an expedited reinstatement, but had an overpayment, blah, blah, all this stuff. Anyway, it'd been a year. Person was now losing their home and belated on property taxes as well on that home. So they were a third party, got connected with me. This really had nothing to do with me having any, I didn't represent or anything. It's about the congressional inquiry and what one may do, not to get a congressperson to intervene in the substance of a case, but to simply alert them to the fact that there is some cog in the wheel. It doesn't provide expedition above other people, first in, first out, that kind of thing at all. It's only in this instance, and generally speaking, if there's a cog in the wheel and there's just no one there at SSA, they can get someone to look at it in terms of making sure that someone else is responsible. Doesn't mean they're going to, anyway, generally speaking, when it happens, because it's always been a cog in the wheel and not something of substance, these things work out super well. So I give the details on what we did with this person, and I think what the first response was from the congressperson. And that was that on April 22nd. I can't believe that was Monday already. Seems like yesterday. Okay, the 23rd. This was for SSI people, and it is the basic understanding of in-kind support and maintenance. As you may know, there's been some new SSI news coming out of the SSA that effects in the arena of ISM, in-kind support and maintenance. So I went back and just wanted to give a basic understanding of what in-kind support and maintenance is as a form of income that counts for SSI purposes. Just for anyone who didn't know that, because if they go to the next video, they'll be like, what's going on? Okay, April 24th, this concerned for SSDI people and SSI, it would apply to. It was the first of two at the moment, work history report tips. This one has to do with something one should do when they're providing the answer to the question about the job description, which is the one at the top of the page. I think I just answered that by accident. Did I? Yeah, I think I did. So then I hung up on it. Sorry. Call back. Yeah, because I see this happens not a lot in terms of it's not done right a lot. Every single work history report that comes out of any of my clients, we review this with a fine-tooth comb. It is really important that they get it right, especially for the over 50 crowd. The following day, the 25th of April, this was concerning application time and something you must do when you're doing it, and it comes to how you are going to be picking the proper alleged onset date. It gets a little tricky. It's also something that is one of the most intricate inquiries we engage in when we first take on a case. I actually almost get into it in my first interview because my wheels are already going in terms of, oh, if I apply, what would we do? Because ideally you want to get that alleged onset date as back in the past as far as possible. That means you would get bigger benefits should it be reasonable and prevail. Your Medicare would come forward a lot quicker, and you know, it's all good. So we try to do that, and I give some pointers there on what we look at, and I think I gave an example. Friday, of course, that was the 26th, the Friday fraud law review, and this was terrible. It was a Maryland dad and daughter team. I think I refer to them as Bonnie and Clyde. Oh, that's probably inappropriate. They con and steal from a vulnerable senior. It has to do with getting these ill-intended guardianships or conservatorships over vulnerable people, usually seniors, upper years, not cognitively all there. And that's what that one was about. But eventually, after years, this dad and daughter team got nailed. Okay. And then Saturday, the 27th, part 2 of that congressional inquiry we started on Monday. And we go into what transpired there. I don't know that I'll be getting any more word on that because it seems like it's pretty much resolved to the extent we asked it to be. Okay, that's it, guys. That was our week. If you didn't catch last week's, I think that'll be coming up. All right, have a great one, and I will hopefully see you next week. Bye-bye now. So you just listened to the week's roundup of all 7 days right behind us and what those video tips were. Are you concerned if you didn't necessarily catch the ones from the week prior to that? Don't worry, we're going to attach it right here. Have a great week, guys. Bye. Hey guys, happy Sunday. Hope you all had a wonderful weekend and continue to do so. Okay, Sunday Social Security roundup for the week of, where are we dated here? For the week of, oh my gosh, the 14th. I cannot believe the time is flying. I mean, we're more than halfway through the month. It's incredible to me. Okay, so last Sunday we did the roundup for that week, the week leading up to that Sunday, and now we are going on to Monday the 15th. This was about, yeah, if you're traveling abroad, are there limits if you're on SSI versus SSD? And SSI, yes, there is generally that 30-day difference, but you're going to want to know about a few of those details. So check out the definitions of when those 30 days start and end, and consecutive versus sporadic or with breaks and all that. Okay, April 16th, that would be Tuesday. This was a particular case point that I pulled out because it comes from cases. And it was about emphasizing again, and you know, I say this all the time, and my clients hear it all the time. They want to gag. How you have to treat now if you have a pending claim or are thinking of doing it, you have to start treating now for all of your impairments, big and small, not just the one that took you out of your job. And we go into a little bit more about that in this video. On the 17th, this was a must do. If you are in the midst of an overpayment and you're watching huge amounts, if not all of your SSD or SSI benefit being taken to cover an overpayment with the recent rule change that we announced earlier. This particular video tells you how you can get that change today before they get it automatically implicated. The whole idea of getting withholdings to pay your overpayment down to 10% from 100%. The automation of it won't take place for months, presumably, but this video talks about getting it done today and what we learned you could do to do that. Okay, April 17th. This was one of the big rule changes. This one is about the rule change to past relevant work. And there is a playlist called Past Relevant Work. If you do not know what the relevancy is to past relevant work and what the definitions are and the 3 criteria to figure out which of your past work if you have a pending claim, is which of your work in the past is going to be past relevant work, which is a term of art, and how the definition of what defines whether it is changing, how that is changing in this new rule, specifically the recency test. They're going to shrink the amount of years they can look at. This is a huge boom to claimants. It's the biggest one I've ever seen in my entire career here, which is about 2 decades. So, okay. And then we had, yeah, that was that. Sorry. It was in there twice because members got to see it earlier. You're interested in being a member and seeing things long before everybody else, sometimes very long before others, sometimes not terribly long before others. Click the join and check it out. It's not expensive, and there's some other perks in there. Okay, this the 18th. That was a Thursday. This was for people who are filing, new filers. You're in the midst of filing or you're about to file. Something you need to know about when you get your re-entry number, when you first start that application online, something that happens and what you should know about so you can decide whether or not to continue to do it in the manner you just did. Okay, and the 19th, oh yeah. We had our fraud law review, of course, and this is a Louisiana woman, age 51, who, yeah, stole quite a bit of money in Social Security from her dead mom, as well as COVID stimulus monies. She got busted though. But I had another one come out because this came out because the members got to hear about it on the 18th because they get to see everything the second we put it up when it's not ready to go out yet. And then everybody else got it the next day though. We actually got it the day before it was going to be announced officially. So I put a statement out there, and it's, again, it only applies to SSI. They're doing a lot of rule changes with SSI, not as many with SSD. Although that overpayment one was a big SSD one, and there was another big one. Oh yeah, the past relevant work. How could I forget that? Okay, so this one was about food stamps. This is major, 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 major for SSI folks who live in households with other people. Sometimes the other people in that household, their situation can be deemed to you part of the monies, and reduce your own SSI, even though you're actually not getting a benefit from them. And this new rule is going to help. There's actually multi-sections, multi-provisions that are changing. So we go over the two big ones in this, and the bigger one being that food stamps can be a major factor now in a helpful way to you. Okay, and Saturday. This was a direct question that you'll find when you're applying online, and it's probably in the paper version too, but I don't know if any of you guys ever do the paper version. So if you are applying or soon to apply, this would be probably relevant for you, versus those that have already applied, or are beneficiaries. There's a question on the application about your non-covered earnings. And this would be relevant to people who are interested in the windfall elimination provision. So, and it has a little attachment describing what that is. But in any event, when you see this question, you're going to realize after this video what it is and what it's getting at. It's to determine whether or not you can get that. You would be getting that windfall elimination provision reduction to your benefits. Okay, what else? Anything else? Nope, I think that's it. I think that's it. All right, guys, I will talk to you later. Have a great week. I hope you had a great week already, and enjoy the upcoming week. I'll talk to you later.